Hello, everybody. It's that college football guy here with the Week 6 recap. For those on the recap here, I do recaps of the subscriber schools of the 40 we have here. I do the good and the bad, and in one case, we're going to have the ugly, but it's not a subscriber school involving Week 6. And if you watch the game, you can pretty much guess what the bad is. I should say the ugly. All right, first off, Wednesday game, subscriber schools. Middle Tennessee State played Jacksonville State and lost 45-30. The good, Nicholas Vattiato. He had a pretty damn good game. 408 yards, 2 touchdowns. Defensively was pretty solid. 3 sacks and an INT, but the bad, Vattiato had 2 touchdowns. Yes, he had 2 picks. The rushing was not as good as I wanted it to be. 109 yards and 2 TDs, and there's too many damn fumbles. Friday game, Oklahoma State, Kansas State. I thought Kansas State was going to win. Oklahoma State changed and had other plans and got the dub. The good for Oklahoma State. We'll do Oklahoma State first. The good, Ollie Gordon, good game, 136 yards and a touchdown. Defense played pretty damn well. 2 sacks, 3 INTs. Including Cameron Epps getting a 35-yard pick 6. That's good. For the bad, Bowman, quarterback. This is not Rangel. Kind of underperformed a little bit. I expected Oklahoma State to play good, and 235 yards, no touchdowns. I don't exactly call great. Kansas State, the good. Damn good rushing game. 220 yards, 2 touchdowns. The bad, Will Howard, 152 yards passing, 1 TD, 3 INTs. And the defense could not force a turnover. Not enough to get it done. So that's the Friday game. Saturday games, we'll start with number 1 Georgia against number 20 Kentucky. And Georgia showed why they actually are the number 1 team in the country. They actually played like it for once. Beating up Kentucky 51-13. The good Carson Beck. Man, had a fantastic game. 389 yards, 4 touchdowns, damn near 80% completion percentage. Run game was solid, 273 yards, 1 touchdown. Defense got 3 sacks. The bad for Georgia, well, you didn't force any turnovers. And against Kentucky, I expected more. Number 2, Michigan against Minnesota. Subscriber school. Michigan wins 52-10. Jeez. Good Lord. Michigan, the good. Good rushing game. 191 yards and 4 touchdowns. Good thing going there. Defense had, 2 sacks and 2 INTs. And both INTs were pick 6s. Will Johnson had a 36-yarder and Keon Sabb had a 28-yarder. Man, get after it. The bad, J.J. McCarthy. 219 yards and a touchdown. I expect better from him. Minnesota, the good. Or special teams. I'll get into that. The good, Mark Crawford, your punter, 7 punts, 44 yards. Punt. And your kicker, that's Keziah, 54-yard field goal in his only field goal attempt. That was your good. The bad, the offense and the defense. Everything. 52 yards passing with 1 touchdown and 2 picks. 117 yards rushing, no touchdowns. And no sacks or turnovers from the defense. You got obliterated. I'm sorry to say that. I'm sorry, Minnesota, but that was just a bad game, but you played a far superior team. And then the game, which had the best first quarter in maybe college football history. Oklahoma and Texas, the Red River rivalry. Oklahoma wins 34-30. If you have not seen this game, go watch it. It's up on YouTube. Somebody has it up there. Highlights. Man, this game was insane. Dylan Gabriel was the good for Oklahoma surfer. Dylan Gabriel, 285 yards, 1 touchdown, plus 113 yards in the rushing he was it. Run game as a whole, 201 yards and 3 touchdowns. Defense, 5 sacks, 3 turnovers for us. Hey, there you go. The bad, fumbles. Work on the fumbles, boys. And pass defense, got to get some work. 371 yards allowed. Texas, the good. Quinn Ewers, 346 yards, 1 touchdown. He had 2 INTs, but still a good game. Jonathan Brooks appears to be the man for the run game, 129 yards and a touchdown. The bad, 1 sack, no turnovers for Texas. I mean, they just, and lack of closing the deal. Oklahoma, based on how they played, Texas should have run away with this. But Oklahoma, I had a feeling after getting shellacked and obliterated last year, they would rather die than let this happen. And that's exactly how they played. Ohio State and Maryland. I thought Maryland would have a chance to win this one. Ohio State said, nope. They beat Maryland 37-17. The good for Ohio State, Kyle McCord. Damn good game. 320 yards, 2 touchdowns. Defense played well. 2 sacks, 2 picks. The bad, run game. Not up to expectation, but there was a lot of injuries. 62 yards and a touchdown. Depth in the run game needs to be addressed in recruiting. Then they had a game that I said Arizona can hang around. Man, did they ever hang around. Number 7 USC beats Arizona 43-41 in 3 overtimes in a battle of subscriber scores for SCA the good. Man, run game, 146 yards, 5 touchdowns. Defense actually got after it and had 3 sacks plus a pick. That's good. The bad, Caleb Williams had one of his worst games, 219 yards and 1 touchdown. But the bad defensively, pass defense, over 300 yards of passing allowed and 5 touchdowns. I'll get to this. Arizona the good, Noah Fafita. Excellent game, 302 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 pick. Run game was good too, 203 yards, but they didn't get any touchdowns. And the defense forced a turnover and had 4 sacks. But the bad, Arizona had control of this game early and just kept SC around. Let them hang around. Arizona let SC hang around. What? Arizona had control of this early, and they let SC get back in it. They let USC get back in it. Should have been the other way around, right? No. Arizona was the one who took the foot off their throat. And they cost them the game. Because if they'd had the killer instinct, SC would have gotten an L. Notre Dame Subscriber School faced off against Louisville. Number 25 Louisville beats number 10 Notre Dame 33-20. The good for Notre Dame, Sam Hartman, I have to give him a good game. 254 yards and 2 touchdowns. And the defense had 2 sacks and forced a turnover. The bad, Sam Hartman had 3 picks. Yikes. Run game was just pathetic. 44 yards and no touchdowns. That is not going to get it done. Okay. Subscriber School UCLA against number 13 Washington State. I thought Washington State was going to win. Nope. UCLA said, hold my beer. UCLA wins 25-17. The good, Dante Moore, 290 yards and a touchdown. Run game was good. 180 plus yards, 2 touchdowns. Defense had 3 sacks and forced 4 turnovers. Damn good. The bad, well, Moore had 2 picks. And one of them was an 88-yard pick 6. That's how Washington State even got points. So that's the bad. So all in all, great win for UCLA. North Carolina and Syracuse. Number 14 North Carolina Subscriber School playing. And guess what happens? Number 14 North Carolina wins. I got my paper separated here so I can do this old school. North Carolina wins 40-7. The good, Drake May. 440 plus yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. The run game was excellent, 200 plus yards and a touchdown. Defense forced turnovers, 2 turnovers. The bad defensively, only 1 sack. And more turnovers. Ball control. It's got to be too many fumbles. Just work on ball control, okay? That's going to hurt North Carolina later on in the year. Subscriber School Oregon State against Cal. Number 15 Oregon State beats Cal 52-40. The good, DJ. I'm not going to say Ungalele. But Ungalele, I'm going to butcher his name and I apologize for that. But DJ had a career game of sorts. 275 yards, but a career-high 5 passing touchdowns. Run game was solid, 200 plus yards and a touchdown. Defense forced turnovers. The bad, too much yardage given up to Cal. Too many points. And Cal's offensive line is Swiss cheese and you couldn't get a sack. That's got to improve. All right. Fresno State Subscriber School, top 25 ranked, number 24 in the country, faced Wyoming. The sneak dark horse team of the, not so dark horse anymore, of the Mountain West Conference. And Wyoming upsets number 24 Fresno State, 24-19. Fresno's good. Well, the passing game between multiple quarterbacks, 286 yards, 2 touchdowns. The good point. The bad, run game was absolutely horrible. 38 touchdowns, 38 yards. I wish they had 38 touchdowns. 38 yards and no turnovers, and the defense severely underperformed. Couldn't stop Wyoming when they needed to. Only 1 sack and no turnovers. Just not enough. Mississippi State and Western Michigan. Subscriber School Mississippi State beats Western Michigan 41-28. The good, Will Rogers had a damn good game before he got hurt. The numbers 189 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's not he got hurt. So I'm doing this considering the full length of the game. The game he played, he had a good game. Run game was horrible, though. It's the bad, though. 38 yards, no touchdowns. Man, and defense underperformed. 1 sack, no turnovers. But they got the win. Well, I screwed up on that one. I want to apologize to Mississippi State right now. I'm not going to redo this video just because I made that mistake, because I'm human, I make mistakes. The good runner, okay, we're going to do this all over again. I literally started looking at the Wyoming Fresno State stats here. So my apologies. Mississippi State, correct stats. I bet Will Rogers played a good game. Run game was great, 184 yards and 2 touchdowns. Defense played well, 2 sacks and a pick. Bad for Mississippi State, the pass defense. Allowed 297 yards. That has got to improve. Toledo subscriber school against UMass. Toledo wins 41-24. Run game for Toledo was in God mode. 375 yards and 3 touchdowns. 9.6 yards per carry. Sheesh. Defense had 2 sacks and a turnover. The passing game underperformed by staying 139 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. And the defense, UMass is a horrible team. You gave up 272 yards passing and 167 yards rushing. That needs to be better. UMass is a bad team. In Toledo, I expect you to perform better. Not up to my liking. All right. Temple subscriber school against UTSA, Texas San Antonio. Texas San Antonio took care of business, 49-34. The good, E.J. Warner at Temple, the quarterback. Speaking of God mode, and is this God plus mode? 400 plus yards, 5 touchdowns. Incredible game. The bad. The run game, 70 yards and no TDs. Got to do better. Ball control, 2 fumbles. Got to do better. Defense had 1 sack and no turnovers. But you allowed 338 yards passing and 157 yards rushing. Too much yardage given up. This could have been the ugly for the week. But Northwestern survives FCS Howard 23-20. What the hell, Northwestern? The good, you had a solid running game, pretty damn good one, 181 yards and a touchdown. Defense went after the QB and forced 3 sacks. The bad, 131 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, did not force a turnover. The rush defense was absolutely horrible, 162 yards and 3 touchdowns. And the glaring elephant in the room, how the hell did you let an FCS school almost beat you? I don't care. So Northwestern's, I don't care. Northwestern's better than FCS school. No excuse. Subscriber school at Purdue against Iowa. I thought Purdue could win. Iowa had other plans. Iowa wins 20-14. The good for Purdue, Hudson Card, okay. It's like a good game. 247 yards and a touchdown, but 2 INTs. That's what I said. It's kind of okay. And the defense did force a turnover. The bad. Run game underperformed. 96 yards and a TD. Defensively, only 1 sack. That was bad. Rush defense allowed 181 yards. That's got to improve. North Texas against Navy. I said Navy was going to win and cover the spread. Well, actually, North Texas made sure they didn't cover the spread, but North Texas lost to Navy 27-24. The good, Chandler Rogers. 267 yards passing, 1 touchdown. Good game. Run game, damn good. 206 yards and 2 TDs. The bad, the defense. You had a sack. Okay, you had 1 sack. Okay. No turnovers. And allowed 330 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. Got to improve. Got to improve. That is not going to get it done. Now we got subscriber school Kansas against UCF. You remember everybody saying Kansas UCF was going to win this game? And I said, no, Kansas was going to win this one. Kansas wanted to set a point here. Blew out UCF 51-22. Team run game for Kansas was in God mode. 399 yards, 5 touchdowns. Hello. Or 379 yards. It was ridiculous numbers regardless. And the defense got after it at 4 sacks and a turnover. The bad, Kansas' passing game was horrible. 91 yards and a touchdown. And the pass defense, you allowed over 300 yards and a touchdown. It's bend, don't break. That's going to be a problem later, so we can work on some changes in scheme to get that one. Okay. I thought South Florida here in the next game was going to beat UAB. UAB had other plans. They win 56-35 over South Florida. The good, Byron Brown had a good game. 260 yards, 2 touchdowns, but 2 picks, but still a good game. Run game was a great one. 211 yards and 3 TDs. The bad, the defense. You did get 2 sacks and a pick, but you allowed 355 yards passing and 4 touchdowns and 253 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns. Yeah, they evenly split it down the board and lit you up. 600 yards offense, not counting special teams yardage. Not counting returns. Jeez, bad. All right. Subscriber school, Colorado against Arizona State, and Colorado survives 27-24. I mean, the good. You ended your 8-game Pac-12 losing streak. That's good. Shedeur Sanders had a good game, okay game, 239 yards and a touchdown. Defense had 5 sacks. That's good. Defense is starting to get after it. That's a good sign. The bad, running game, 56 yards, 2 TDs. Did not force a single turnover, and you allowed, the pass defense allowed 325 yards. That has got to get better. You got the win, but not by much. I honestly expected more. The way you played earlier in the year, you should have beat Arizona State by 30, but you didn't. All right, subscriber school matchup, Texas Tech and Baylor. I thought Baylor could hang around and actually beat Texas Tech. Oh, man, I egg on my face and everything else on my face. I totally screwed this one up. Texas Tech blew out Baylor 39-14. Texas Tech to win. Good for Texas Tech. The run game, 186 yards and 2 touchdowns. And defensively, quarterback, they got up to the QB, 6 sacks. That's getting it done. That disrupts an offense. The passing game underperformed. 180 yards, 3 touchdowns. Considering how bad Baylor had been playing, I was actually expecting more. The pass defense, you allowed 324 yards. If Baylor's not playing that well, Baylor does that much on you, what's the better team's going to do? So that's got to be addressed. For Baylor, the good, Blake Shapen, 324 yards and a touchdown. That's a good for him. And the defense forced a turnover. The bad, 1 sack. Your run game didn't exist. 17 yards and no touchdowns. 4 fumbles, Baylor, 4 fumbles. And your rush defense allowed 186 yards. Just turnovers and bad defense. That was the story of this game. Final subscriber school, Boise State, San Jose State. San Jose State, we actually had upset on their mind, but Boise State beats them 35-27. The run game. Had a pretty damn good run game. 262 yards and 3 touchdowns. The defense got after it, 3 sacks with a turnover. The bad, too many damn fumbles. Ball control. Come on, guys. Passing game. Got to be better. 229 yards, 2 touchdowns between 2 quarterbacks. Boise State against the San Jose secondary, I expected 300 plus. So to me, that's an underperforming. Defensively, pass defense has got to be better. Allowed 325 yards. That has got to be better. Man. All right. We had the good and the bad. What is the ugly? Can anybody guess? Miami. Georgia Tech. The last few minutes of that game is Keystone. Everybody said Dan Mullen is the clown of coaching. Well, Mario Cristobal said, you know what? Hold my beer. I could do worse. And he did. No kneel. Fumbled the ball. Bad defensive play calls. 44, the touchdown over the top. And the wide receiver slid in the end zone like doing a baseball slide just to stick it in. The fans throwing trash on the field, the ones who did show up. I mean, that was the one where it came down where they, remember, as brought up, Uncle Lou brought this up, a lot of the people brought this up. Remember this, the Texas A&M game when Miami and Texas A&M played? They couldn't get people to go. So they offered, if you paid for a ticket to go to the Texas A&M game, you get a ticket for Georgia Tech for free, and they still couldn't get people to show up? It was like 16,000? Just absolutely horrible performance by Miami. Top 25, they're going down big. Well, actually not big. They lost to a Power 5 team. So it's not as big of a loss as it could be, but still. That was the ugly for the week. But why don't you let me know about everything down in the comments. So thanks, everybody, for watching the recap. Tomorrow's going to be, starting early on the day. I'm going to try and do some of the data for my top 25. That top 25 will be tomorrow. Subscriber rankings on Tuesday. We'll see what games are popping off. I got to leave here out of the house about 6 a.m. to get to the shop at 7. They want me there to get started. I'm presumably, since I went to Southern California and went through Arizona and got warm, they're probably going to send me up to Minnesota or somewhere in the Northeast to freeze. It's the way always. Every time I do a California run, I'm either upstate Wisconsin, upstate Minnesota, or I'm in northern New York. It happens every time. We'll see if it happens this time. I mean, the oddball would be they send me to Florida. That'd be the oddball. But we'll see what happens. Maybe we can get a good laugh. Maybe Nostradamus and predict it. But anyway, let me write everything down in the comments. So thanks everybody for watching. Like I said, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks everybody who is going to interact with this video. Every bit of interaction helps. Like, comment, subscribe. All of them help. All of them help this video get more views, more interaction, shows up more in the YouTube algorithm. Everything helps the channel grow. I appreciate everything. So please like, comment, and subscribe on this video. Hope everybody's having a great Sunday. It's time for me to finish up on my last of my prep for my food. I just finished baking my chicken for the road, and now I got no, not fried chicken, chicken breast, and cutting up my stuff for my vacuum pack for my salads for the road. Trying to eat healthy and get this big gut to go away. which is slowly working. So thanks everybody for watching. Have a great Sunday, and please be good to each other.